And welcome back to the International Convention Centre at the CSIR, and we're here for the 5th edition of the Science Forum. And one of the conversations we spoke to earlier pointed out the need for funding. Now, one of the main events today will of course be the Innovation Bridge, and this will be a matchmaking session between potential funders and of course innovators. But there are such exciting innovations here that we've managed to see, and we did promise that we'll take a closer look at some of them. And what I can tell you about the 3 that we're about to look at, they all are still in need of funding. So perhaps science, technology and innovation isn't necessarily what people think of when they think of where to invest their money, but we're going to tell you about some of these very, very exciting innovations, and perhaps you would be interested in funding some of the next 3 projects. Okay, we're going to start to my extreme left with Ana Casanueva, and this is the rape kit that I was telling you about in our very first crossing. So Anna's going to tell us a little bit more about this and what makes this particular kit so exciting and special. Anna, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you very much. So let me tell you a little bit more. At the University of the Western Cape, the Forensic DNA Lab has developed a new sexual assault kit. So what's so special about this kit is that the current kits do not take into account the high genetic diversity in Southern Africa. So those kits cannot be utilized by the forensic police services at the moment because they're not giving exact results. This one takes into account the fact that we have a very high genetic diversity in Southern Africa. So it is actually much better at for convictions, for actual positive convictions, and it can also help with exoneration of wrongfully accused people. So it's extremely important that we utilize this kit throughout Southern Africa. We've been talking to police services and they're very interested. The problem is that we need to validate this kit. So we're looking for funding specifically for that. Compare this kit with other current methods used to show that this is in fact much more accurate, and to improve the kit based on that so that we can actually make it available to forensic services and specifically police services. So anyone interested, please, it would be great if you can contact us at the University of the Western Cape, www.tto.uwc.ac.za.
And of course we are currently in the campaign period of 16 days of activism, and unfortunately we do know that we have a problem with rape, and some would even say rape culture in this country. So just how exactly does this particular kit work?
So that's absolutely right. At the moment we know that this is a problem, and this kit is there for the justice part. Rape is very little that we can do at the moment. We should be doing a lot more. But what this is doing is, if we do have a victim and we're able to get a DNA sample from the perpetrator, this kit is basically able to positively identify an individual that is in fact the perpetrator. While current kits give you mixed results, and therefore you are not able to utilize DNA evidence in the court cases, this would improve the chances that you're getting positive results, and therefore you can utilize the evidence to convict the perpetrator. So it's extremely important, because also for the mental health of the victim, it's important that justice is served, and this would allow in that aspect.
Absolutely. Just wondering, is the actual kit in there, Anna?
It is actually, yes. So if you're interested.
Just taking a look at what the kit actually looks like.
Have the tubes, but it's basically got different reagents inside. I don't actually have them. And what you do, it's based on a biotechnology a technique called PCR. And what it looks at certain places within the Y chromosome. We know that males have a Y chromosome and females do not. And certain genes, areas within the genes of the Y chromosome, are unique to certain genetic ethnic types. So you're able to identify different individuals based on that, such as the same as paternity testing. So this kit can also be used for paternity testing. You're able to say this profile looks like that other profile. So the profile found in evidence from the victim looks like the profile of the accused, and then you're able to match and say this is in fact the perpetrator.
Well, fascinating. Thanks so much, Anna. And then moving on to Propeller, and this is Zain Imran. Tell us about your endeavor, what you do here.
Good day, ma'am. So we are Propeller High-Tech Incubator, and we specialize and focus on smart city solutions and smart energy consumption. Currently representing 3 of our incubators today, namely Tofa, which produced a smart energy-efficient egg incubation system, which enables food security and so on in the South African and sub-Saharan markets. We've got Celeste Lighting, which created a wellness light, which brings the sun into your house. So from sunrise to sunset, it simulates the frequencies of light that the sun would bring during the day. Namely benefits, yes, that's the one behind us. The benefits are namely wellness, better moods, and it increases efficiency in workers and so on, brings general wellness to the people. And then we've got Hedge SA, which are developers of smart water and water quality metering solutions. So they've developed a device that has the capability of leakage detection and real-time water quality monitoring.
And you also need funding.
Yes, we also need funding for these projects to get them to a commercial stage. Yes.
And I hope your funders, potential funders, are actually watching this program this morning. And coming to Ketlareng Polori, and from the University of the Northwest, and this here contraption is quite interesting. And Ketlareng, if you could just tell us more about it.
Thank you, Sakina. This is we call it New Hand. It's a hand rehabilitation where patients who have been involved in accidents or strokes, then you lose your mobility because the brain cannot recognize the movement anymore. So this will be connected to a sensor that will be able to relay back the message to the brain. So it will help you with your grip and starting of the movements. So it is 3D printed to make it cost effective and cheap, and assist physiotherapists as well. But you as a patient, you can also afford it and buy it and go with it anyway, because it will be relating back. It will assist you wherever that you are. So really this is what we are trying to assist people with. This was developed in the engineering department at the Northwest University, and yeah, this is basically what we are saying to rehabilitate the hand that people have lost their movements.
I was actually hoping that you could actually, show us a demonstration.
In the sensor.
You know what? We'll try and do that in our final crossing. Maybe we can actually see how this works, because it's astonishing that you have over 1 million people in South Africa who actually struggle with their prosthesis for upper limb mobility. And I was reading that from those people, the majority of them, within the first year of having their prosthesis fit, actually discard them. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this development actually aids in having people stay with whatever it is that they actually get. And as you heard, 3D printed, which makes it cost effective. How much is cost effective?
With 3D printing, Sakina, the materials are very cheap and it prints very quickly. So currently we're looking for funding for clinical trials, and then so that we can send it into the market.
All right, there you heard it. So a lot of funding is needed. Government is doing its bit. There are partnerships with some of the international organizations and particular countries as well. But of course, we need more funding, as you hear from many of the exhibitors here at the Science Forum. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and perhaps show you a few more innovations here at the Science Forum.